And coming up on News Live at 6, air travel is experiencing some turbulence. All of the full story live from Hancock Airport.
Comes to SU how the tech giant is navigating possible federal funding cuts in central New York.
And April showers bring May flowers, but is this early spring weather here to stay? News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Welcome into News Live at 6. I'm Ronnie Parrillo.
And I'm Ilana Epstein. Since the fatal American Airlines mid-air collision in Washington, air travel in the United States has been under a spotlight.
Our Roman Verna is live at Hancock Airport to tell us more. Roman, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, guys. Well, I'm out here at Syracuse Hancock Airport, and it's really like we've seen an air incident make the headlines almost every week so far, and this week is no exception. Just earlier today, we saw a Southwest Airlines flight nearly collide with a private jet on the ground of Chicago's Midway Airport. Now, the pilot of the Southwest flight was able to pull up and complete a safe go-around, so nobody was injured or killed, but it's still making many wonder, is this starting to become a trend? This year, it seems like one issue is in the news more than any other right now: air travel. So far in 2025, there have been 87 air incidents, with 14 resulting in at least one fatality, according to data from the National Transportation Safety Board. Although no crashes have occurred in the CNY area, passengers at Syracuse's Hancock Airport are still weary of traveling.
I usually love flying, but I know that there's been a lot in the news recently about certain aviation safety hazards going on. Although I just always try to keep a positive attitude, I say things that are affirming, but there are nerves, especially knowing I love to fly, but this time it's felt a little bit more precarious.
But despite passengers' hesitation to travel, aviation safety expert and SU professor Kivanch Avrenli says there isn't an actual trend in crashes just yet.
I think for the time being, the media coverage has changed. This may create the illusion that crashes are happening more often. I don't think so. But again, we need long-term data to determine if the frequency of such accidents have increased or not.
But either way, Avrenli says people shouldn't be worried about flying right now.
I think the probability of dying in an airplane crash is, this is an approximate number, about 1 in 11 million. Which means if you take a flight every single day, you are expected to die from an airplane crash in 30,000 years. I think highway travel is much more dangerous.
Yeah, now as Avrenli said, it's hard to tell if a trend is starting to emerge as investigations are still ongoing. But as those NTSB results start to come out, we're definitely going to take a closer look. That's all I have for now, guys. Live from Syracuse's Hancock Airport, I'm Roman Verna, CitrusTV News.
Roman, great coverage there. Thank you so much. Well, with President Trump floating ideas to change the Chips and Science Act, the future of Micron in Syracuse could be up in the air. But the company still came to campus today to talk about their plans.
Our Ben Bassick went to the showcase and tells us how Micron's uncertainty could affect students.
Syracuse University's Micron Day looked a lot like your middle school science fair, going all out to showcase their partnership with the semiconductor giant. SU's Vice Chancellor, Mike Haney, says this is just the beginning.
You know, I describe this as the first Micron Day. What we're hoping to do is set the conditions for Syracuse University students to benefit from what is a national movement to bring advanced manufacturing back to the United States.
Microchips like this are bringing hundreds to Syracuse University's Micron Day. But as the Trump administration threatens to cut federal funding, it could jeopardize Micron's establishment here in central New York.
The Chips and Science Act, which funds Micron's expansion, isn't the only thing at risk. Universities have just 1 week to end DEI programs or risk losing federal funds.
Our perspective has been stay calm and press ahead, do the work. Once the federal law is settled, we have to comply with federal law. A lot of understandable anxiety about everything that we see on the news. NIH's announcement to potentially cap F&A on federal grants at 15%. Not any one of these single announcements is the final word.
Local STEM career readiness leaders like Emily Langan and Erica Turner say failing to prepare is preparing to fail, with or without Micron.
Preparing now is definitely important. So many other companies in the area, MACNY, the Manufacturing Association, we work with 300 member companies across the state, many of which are have been here for many years and will continue to be here for many years.
There's things that they can do that support these chips. We're just here to show them all the options that they have, and that STEM is such a wide-ranging field that there's definitely a seat at the table for them all.
SRC, TTM, low-tech biologics, hidden level, this economy is changing for the better, even beyond the Micron investment.
Ben Bassick, Citrus TV News.
Ben, thank you so much. A story we're definitely going to continue to follow closely here in Central New York. But Ilana, I walked outside. You know, Ben in his package there mentioned middle school. And today the smell, you know, it smelled like spring. It smelled like a middle school playground. And, you know, there's a feeling of spring in the air.
There definitely is. And I mean, look how many people went to Micron Day today. It's because the weather was so nice, they were able to walk out over there. I mean, I'm just so happy compared to last week when it was snowing. The snow was blowing in my face. Now today, I mean, I'm okay with a little bit of rain if it means it's a lot warmer out.
Exactly. Look who's a lot warmer out there, our own Liv Rodriguez.
Hey there, Ronnie and Ilana. Now, your guys' senses are correct. Spring weather is finally here in Syracuse. Now, I know the weather's been pretty nice. If you were outside today, it is about 42 degrees right now. I know there was a little bit of that spring rain in the air today, but I feel like when we're up in the 40-degree weather, it feels like summer here in Syracuse. There's this like light wind and rain going on outside, and tonight it's going to look like more of the same. Even though we're going to see some cloudy skies, it's going to be 40 degrees tonight. A light wind chill is going to make it feel a little bit like 35 degrees. But as you can see, Syracuse actually has been breaking a record this year. We have experienced 100 inches of snow for the first time in 6 years. But as you can see, this snow now is beginning to melt, and hopefully we are going to see the beginning of some spring weather. But I will have more on what we are experiencing for the rest of the week when I'm back in studio. Ron and Ilana, back to you guys.
All right, Liv, thanks so much. Well, inmates at the Collins Correctional Facility in Erie County are now moving to other prisons. It's because of staffing shortages due to thousands of corrections officers still on strike. Now more than 6,500 National Guard troops are on duty at prisons across New York State. Now the state is in the process of meeting with union leaders to work towards an agreement. Officers say they're being forced to work overtime and are demanding better pay. Now that strike, which started just over a week ago, has now spread to more than 30 prisons across New York State, including one just west of us in Auburn.
The Working Families Party announcing today they are supporting Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens in the Syracuse mayoral race. This comes just days after Owens lost the support of the Syracuse Democratic Committee. The party's backing could guarantee her a spot on the general election ballot, making her one of 4 Democrats looking to replace current Mayor Ben Walsh.
The Syracuse VA Medical Center is taking down art supporting the LGBTQ+ community. Signs displaying phrases like "your identity is valid" and "you are exactly who you're supposed to be" have been removed facility-wide over the course of the last month. Now this comes as some transgender veterans are worried about losing access to vital services. Brenda Hansen is one of them. CitrusTV spoke to her at a memorial for a transgender veteran who committed suicide last month. She says the VA plays a crucial role in her gender-affirming care, and she's worried about the future.
But I found out through the VA hospital here in Syracuse that I was able to use them to get my estrogen and other services. Very scared of what they're going to try to do through the VA if they cut my support.
Destiny USA will host its first in-person job fair tomorrow from 2 to 5 p.m. The fair offers a chance for local employers to conduct interviews, hire workers, and connect with potential employees. The job fair is free for anyone to attend, with 2 more fairs planned in August and October. Anyone interested can find more information on Destiny USA's website.
Well, some good news tonight. Moving west to Ontario County, Hobart and William Smith colleges are receiving a donation of $70 million, the largest in the college's history. Graduate of Hobart College, Thomas Melly, and his wife finalized the donation last fall. The colleges will offer $110,000 scholarships per year. They're also creating the Melly Institute for Business, Innovation, and Leadership. Now, the goal there is to help students prepare for grad school and future careers. Melly passed away in December shortly after organizing the donation. He served as the chair of the board for a decade.
Coming up on News Live at 6, the New York Lieutenant Governor is not running alongside Governor Hochul in November. The reasons for his decision coming up.
And the initiative Governor Hochul is launching, she says, will help federal workers. That and more on the other side.
To an excellent
That was a great block. That was
wow.
Watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Ronnie Parrillo, Ilana Epstein, and Olivia Rodriguez. And now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Well, there have been some changes in the race for New York governor. Lieutenant Governor Antonio Delgado announced yesterday he's no longer running for office alongside Kathy Hochul. Our reporter Tegan Brostrom joins me now. So Tegan, what's happening out there in Albany?
Yeah, there's a lot of craziness happening in Albany. Via Twitter on Monday afternoon, Antonio Delgado announced his decision to not run alongside Governor Kathy Hochul for re-election in 2026. In the Twitter post, Delgado said, quote, "I remain deeply committed to finishing my full term as I was independently elected to do by the people of New York. And by him not running alongside Hochul, Delgado is actively separating himself from her."
So Tegan, is this the first time that the lieutenant governor has done this, separated himself from Kathy Hochul?
It is not. It is actually, if you could say so, it's the fourth. This is probably like the boiling over of their feud. The first time was when Governor Delgado, called for President Biden to end his re-election bid this summer, while Hochul was still supporting him. The second time was when, just last week, he called for Mayor Adams to resign before the governor was ready to call for that. And then after the 2024 election, Delgado wrote an op-ed for the New York Times calling on strong leadership in the Democratic Party after that 2024 election. So, and that was kind of a stab at Kathy Hochul.
It's interesting, Tegan, because usually you want the lieutenant governor to more or less be in lockstep with you.
Exactly.
But how is the governor, Kathy Hochul, responding to this?
Yeah, Kathy Hochul announced, her communications department released a heated statement earlier today saying Delgado finally said out loud what has been obvious for some time. He is simply not interested in doing the job of lieutenant governor. She is now actively looking for a new running mate for 2026. But in terms of voters, there's been kind of a split between upset voters and voters thinking that, this is maybe a good idea for Delgado. A lot of people are upset that Democrats aren't sticking together, but some understand that Kathy Hochul may not be the easiest person to work alongside with.
Definitely, Tegan. Very interesting. We'll have to see what happens. And Kathy Hochul, still the governor of New York. She's trying to get in there in 2026, launching new initiatives, and Ilana has more details on that.
Yeah, Ronnie, Governor Kathy Hochul is launching a new You're Hired initiative. The goal is to recruit talented public sector workers into state service. The initiative comes as the Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE, is laying off thousands of federal workers. It's a part of Elon Musk's plan to reshape the U.S. government. Governor Hochul is encouraging New Yorkers to join the, quote, New York State family.
The federal government might say you're fired, but here in New York, we say you're hired. In fact, we love federal workers. Whatever your skills, we value public service.
Right now, New York state agencies are hiring for thousands of positions across the state. You can visit the ny.gov website for more information.
The Department of Government Efficiency getting smaller today. More than 20 DOGE staffers resigned this morning from the department led by Elon Musk. Now, those resignations come among court challenges that are trying to stop those government worker layoffs. And in their joint resignation letter, the staffers wrote, quote, "We swore to serve the American people and uphold our oath to the Constitution across presidential administrations. However, it has become clear that we can no longer honor those commitments." Now, despite the resignations, the Trump administration has backed Musk and his management of DOGE. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt saying in a statement, quote, "Anyone who thinks protests and lawsuits and lawfare will deter President Trump must have been sleeping under a rock for the past several years."
And coming up on News Live at 6, I'll have your 5-day forecast as well as your weather across the region.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. Now, as you might have seen while I was out there, I actually didn't need my classic green puffer outside today because we're actually finally starting to see some of those wonderful warm spring weathers, and Syracuse isn't alone. Across the region, we are seeing lots of amazing weather in the high 30s and low 40s. We're seeing highs of even 47 degrees right now in Fulton, 42 in Rochester, and here in Syracuse. And we're seeing some of the high 30s in Ithaca, Binghamton, Cortland, and Rome. So we're seeing some of this amazing spring weather coming up, but is that going to continue? Well, looking across to the rest of this week, we are finally seeing some of these 40 temperatures starting to say 40 tomorrow and 44 on Thursday. It's going to be the high this week. We're going to drop down a little bit on Friday to 30 degrees and then bump back up to 41. But we are going to see a little bit of precipitation intermittent throughout the week. So we're going to see some rain, a little bit of rain and snow in the morning on Saturday. And unfortunately, on Sunday, we are dropping back off again, back into the 20s with a high of 21 degrees on Sunday. The sky is going to be a little bit cloudy, but right now, what I would do is savor in this amazing warm weather that we've got for the rest of this week, this Syracuse summer weather, as close as that we're going to get to it before we're going to drop back down to 21 on Sunday. But that's all I've got for weather. What have we got coming up, guys?
All right, Liv, thanks so much. Well, before those temperatures drop into the 20s on Sunday, you may have heard about a new breakfast location that opened downtown, but what you may not know is that owner cooked for professional athletes.
That's right, Ronnie, and our Citrus TV reporter Alexa Corey is here in studio with the owner's story. Alexa?
Thanks, Ronnie and Ilana. A new spot downtown is bringing a unique taste to the city. A former chef to pro athletes, Christian Alandato, is taking a special spin on breakfast. The name Skeleton Bee has been booming around the city. The gem lies in the heart of Armory Square. Alandato has spent years cooking for top athletes from the Indiana Pacers and New England Patriots before returning home to build something of his own. Chef Alandato has been passionate about food since childhood. He pursued culinary school at Onondaga Community College and then worked at various local restaurants. It wasn't until a friend introduced him to the world of high-performance chefs that Alandato took the leap into cooking for elite competitors. He says it gave him a different perspective on professional athletes.
Seeing the behind the scenes of everything, you know, things that like normal people wouldn't see. You know, it's kind of cool to dive into that. You gain a little more respect of like what they do. It's not as easy as everyone thinks it is. They're not just catching a ball, you know, throwing a ball into a hoop.
Now, Alandato is serving up delicious meals just minutes from Syracuse University campus. His menu features creative options with almost all ingredients made freshly in-house. He prides himself on his homemade chorizo. Here's what customers have to say about how his creations separate the sandwiches from any other place.
I think definitely the sandwiches, they're a little bit different. Like with the house-made chorizo on the Mira Way is really different than any place I've had.
There's a lot of like details. I feel like most breakfast sandwiches, you get your basics, but they have a lot of like different unique things here. And the bagels are a little different too than some of the other, like your classic bagel style. Makes it really good.
Chef Alandato has one key tip for those passionate about pursuing a career in the culinary world.
Yeah, hard work pays off.
For more details about Skeleton Bee, visit their Instagram or online website. I'm Alexa Corey reporting in studio. Andrew, let's hear about what Syracuse Sports has been cooking up recently.
Oh, Alexa, I love that segue you're talking about cooking and athletes. Makes me hungry for a top 5 showdown in women's lacrosse between Northwestern and Syracuse. The 26th all-time meeting between the Orange and the Walk, and the Orange should be a dandy. Stay with us after this.
Welcome to Live from Studio B.
Welcome to another episode of Culturally and Technically Legal.
Previously on Survivor.
Welcome back to the Esports Juice Box, where we break down this week's esports news into digestible sizes for easy consumption.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
For just the second time in 4 days, number 5 Syracuse women's lacrosse is facing a top 3 opponent. Welcome into sports. I'm Andrew Della, Piana. SU saw its 3-game winning streak snapped in a 16-8 loss at number 2 North Carolina last Saturday. But could the Orange scratch past the Wildcats today? This game just went final inside the Dome, and the Orange could not do so. Northwestern taking this one by a final of 12-8. And the big catalyst in this one, the return of Delaney Schweitzer. Yes, the former SU goalkeeper who helped the Orange get to back-to-back Final Fours in 2023 and 2024. Delaney also won the ACC Goalkeeper of the Year in 2023. But how about Madison Taylor? 5 goals for the Wildcats in this one, up to 41 points, 31 goals, 10 assists this season. It's a dangerous Northwestern team that could potentially make another Final Four run. Let's get to the hardwood, though, where the Nets took a trip to the nation's capital to face the NBA's worst in the Wizards last night. I hope you didn't forget, though, that Washington was the only team to beat Brooklyn in the month of February. The Nets currently have a record of 21-35, just 1 win away from tying the Bulls for 10th place in the East in the play-in tournament. So let's get you out to Capital One Arena for the Nets and the Wizards in this Eastern Conference showdown. Two teams that have really struggled as of late, as the number 7 overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft, Koulibaly, knocks down that 3 there late stages of the first quarter. Jordan Poole with a step-back triple. Wizards were up by as much as 15 in this one. But how about Killian Hayes getting a good look straight away? His second straight start after D'Angelo Russell has been out the last couple of games with a foot injury. How about a corner 3 from Zaire Williams? He had a career-high 5 triples in this one. We get to the late stages of the fourth. Wizards pushing their way back. They regain that 1-point lead. And then Jordan Poole once again, the step-back three-pointer. It's a Poole party. 26 points, 5 of 9 from deep. The cherry on top of a Wizards 8-point victory. It's the second time this season Brooklyn has lost to the worst team, I should say, in the NBA, and the first time all season that Washington held an opponent under 100 points. But back here in Central New York, the Sabres playing host to the Ducks tonight out in the KeyBank Center. Buffalo's Ramis Dahlin, 2 goals and 2 assists in his last time out against New York back on Saturday. Lindy Ruff, the head coach, described that as the Sabres captain's best game this season. He's got 12 points in a current 6-game point streak dating back to January 28th. He also played for Sweden in the national team in the Four Nations face-off over the All-Star break. Now, it might not feel like it, but tomorrow's game between Syracuse men's basketball and NC State has some postseason implications. With 4 games to go in the regular season, SU in 15th place in the ACC and holds the last spot for the conference tournament. Due to the ACC's expansion to 18 teams this year, the bottom 3 will miss the conference tournament down in Charlotte. A win over the Wolfpack on Wednesday would give the Orange a 2-game cushion with 3 games remaining, though. But for the Orange, if they don't qualify, it'd be the first time they've failed to make the postseason back when they had that self-imposed ban back in 2015. But on the other hand, a win tomorrow for the Pack leapfrogs them over the Orange in the standings. Tip-off for that one, 7 o'clock from the Dome. Make sure to follow @RyanBridgesTV on X for live in-game updates. Should be a good one between the Orange and the Wolfpack, but again, a struggling Orange team at that.
Andrew, thank you so much. When we come back, we'll have one last look at your wake-up forecast.
And a wonderful photo of the day. Stay with us.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner!
Go. Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family. Yeah! Oh, I thought you were on my team. Wait.
Meet Norm. He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker, new from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no normal.
Welcome back into your wake up weather. Now looking ahead to tomorrow, again, we are going to be experiencing some nice spring weather. You're going to wake up at around 34 degrees and we are going to peak at 3 p.m. at a wonderful 38 degrees. And then you're going to dip back down just a little bit to 31, but we're looking at 30s all day, which is pretty incredible for some Syracuse weather. Although you're going to have to look out, it's going to be a little bit cloudy throughout the day, so just make sure to grab like a light jacket. I was just wearing a puffer today. That's really all I needed. There is a little bit of a chance of snow and rain at night, but that shouldn't be anything too heavy. Nothing really to look forward to. This, however, is my photo of the day. I was looking forward to a really nice night outside. It was really beautiful as I was walking by. As you can see, you can literally see the grass peeking out, which was absolutely amazing. But Ronnie and Ilana, what do you guys think?
You know what's crazy, Olivia? I'm actually excited about 30-degree temperatures.
Me too.
I'm excited about
feels like Florida. Well, that is Citrus TV News. That's a place you can grow citruses. Live at 6 for this Tuesday. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Citrus TV News. Now, for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Ronnie Parrillo.
And I'm Ilana Epstein. Have a great